text today, saying that we are at 7:30. He said, okay, last week.
I know he's in there.
Well, she zeroes in on the
Yep. Everyone please stand. Please give yourselves phones. Please turn them up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to open up the Village of Goshen Planning Board meeting Tuesday, December 18th at 7:35. First on the agenda, Unico Design Group, 107 West Main Street. Stephen Esposito representing
Unico. And, of course, this project is no stranger to this board, or pretty much any board in the village, but this one in particular. If you recall, this is a project that has received site plan approval in the past, and when Alpine Consultants were your planning consultant, which was reviewed by them, and then also Miller Tully, who was a geotechnical firm that was hired by the village to review our geotechnical stuff. And then when we came back around last time for reinstatement or extension of the approvals, Blank and Tully were here, so they reviewed those, and you have in your files a review and approval letter from Weldon App. We've received, and I'll go with the letters first. Weldon App, Alpine, and Blank and Tully. We've also recently, last week, were at the Zoning Board of Appeals and got our variances reinstated. And then at the end of last week, I'll just hand this out to you. Kate Schmidt from the Orange County Planning Department requested.
Yeah.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Had requested. That's right. Just take a look at it. So we put together a package for Kate and ran it over there, handled it. And then just basically, she identified the five-way test for the Zoning Board of Appeals to apply to any variances granted, and then noted that it's local determination. The owners, the master zonies, are interested in, I don't know if you've noticed, there's a new real estate sign on the site. They're actively marketing it. There's some true action that they've got in terms of tenant on the first floor, so they're actively pursuing that, and that's why we've been before the Zoning Board of Appeals to get the variances reinstated, and we're here tonight to request from this board the reinstatement of site plan approval. The only thing that's changed, we have a couple neighbors, new neighbors, and the Zoning Board of Appeals, and we agreed with it, but it was prudent to re-advertise and have a public hearing. So we did do that. We had certified mailings to all our neighbors. We advertised in the paper. For the Zoning Board of Appeals, which was reviewed and approved by the board and by their council. And we had one member of the public come out, Mr. Dunlap, who was just interested in the application and was very positive with the proposal that the master zonings are proposing. And the Zoning Board of Appeals unanimously reinstated all of the variances. So again, we've sort of done the public notification of the pending application, and we're here tonight to ask that the board reinstate site plan approval.
Okay. Awesome.
No, I had no comments. It's basically the same plan as was submitted as Steve has described previously, so nothing's changed, and I don't have any comments.
No comments. We did have comments from the Orange County Board of, the Orange County Department of Planning.
No, I believe the planning department said it was up to local determination.
Okay.
Steve, can you just list the variances that we got reinstated?
Yeah. Actually, we have a new one too, because
You have a new one?
believe it or not, one fell through the cracks. And it wasn't until I was reapplying to the Zoning Board of Appeals that I realized that 10 years ago we should have applied for this one as well. It's a non-conforming lot. It's minimum lot size, believe it or not, in the central business district is 5,000 square feet. I'd say at least 50% of them, if not more, don't meet that. This lot doesn't meet that. This is 3,774. So in our list of variances, we added the minimum lot size because your code talks about the non-conforming uses, but it doesn't talk about the non-conforming buildings, but it doesn't talk about non-conforming lots. So we threw that one on our list of things to get. We had minimum lot area. We had building development area, because interestingly enough, the central business district only permits 35% of building coverage over a lot. So pretty much every building in downtown Goshen is non-conforming. So we asked for a waiver of that, relief of that requirement, and we also asked for development coverage. The maximum development coverage is 75% of the lot in the central business district. We asked for 5% in additional building coverage, or development coverage for 80%. So we were granted relief of the development coverage as well. We also had building height. The maximum building height in the zoning board in the central business district, I believe, is 40 feet, 3 stories. We asked for, and again, this is all part of the process, again, leading up to what we still consider as a landmark building for the downtown. What we are able to do is fit in a 4th floor and maintain the same height. Actually, I think we're 3 inches taller than the building on the corner, but also, when we've looked at this with PDAP, is, West Main is going up, the scale of the building is in context with the streetscape there, and they granted the 4th floor as well. And then the last one was parking. With 3,700 square feet of site space, you really don't have a whole lot of room for parking. So we were granted the relief from parking, which is not uncommon in the central business district as well.
Is that all the variances?
Yes.
So there's no parking, right?
No on-site parking.
No on-site parking?
Correct.
Right, okay. And then what was the issue with it? It's, what, 3 years since we saw this?
No.
Yeah, it was approved in
2009?
2007, extended in 2009, probably expired in...
It's the issue over the Rio Grande. What was that?
Well, the Rio Grande.
Yeah.
Or Rio Grande, depending on where you're from, is right here.
Right.
It's in the back. It's actually off this site.
Okay, yeah.
So here's our property line. It comes down right to the top of the bank. So it goes, behind the Master and Tony building that just got refurbished, where the barber shop is.
Yeah.
Goes behind that building, and then goes underneath the Marcus building, building, goes underneath there, underneath the main street, behind the parking lot, or behind the post office. Right. Rosen?
Okay, because none of these guys was on the board, right, when this was approved? Yeah.
2009.
Well, 2007 originally, and
Right.
then
They committed for an extension in 2009.
Right. So what were you doing back here? This spot here?
That's a sidewalk. You're gonna have 2 access points, and these are fire codes, we have to have them.
Okay.
There's a back staircase going.
Back staircase, yeah, back staircase that
Okay.
goes down, there's an elevator and a separated fire escape.
Where does that let out? Is that
In the back.
How do you get out from there?
From here to here. Well, you can walk out to the street
Okay,
here,
okay.
and then because they have a right-of-way also that goes that way.
Because we got back parking lot.
Yeah.
Shared parking lot.
Yeah, it's, you have access to get out of the building there.
Any other comments, board members? You have 4 floors.
Correct.
How many floors? It's a mixed use, residential and commercial.
Well, under the CS zone, the permitted use is,
Permitted.
yeah, permitted is,
How many floors are residential, how many floors are...
right now, they're contemplating all commercial. I believe. I think that's what we did our, yeah, well, we did permitted use, first floor, and then second floor, third floor, and fourth floor permitted use or conditional use, which could be
Either way.
But we use commercial for estimating the parking because that's the most restricted.
Any other comments, board members?
What is the facade made out of?
It's going to be made out of brick, stainless steel, or seamless steel roof. What do you call that roof, Pete?
Standing seam?
Yeah, that's it, thank you. Wrought iron, copper.
So this is the same facade that
Same
Weldon
facade.
Apt,
The only thing that's
Design.
changed in these plans since that time was,
His design.
no, it's not Weldon's design, no. It's Weldon, he approved it for the AED. The only thing that's changed is the neighbors.
which is this CAK Properties.
Jake, Vertical, which is,
Yeah.
Liquor store.
Chinese store.
well, our immediate neighbors are, the new ones, is Vertical Development, that was where Lori's Bee Place was, that's been purchased now. The bagel guy next on the other corner, and then Jake, well, actually, he was there when we did the last driving. But other than that, nothing's changed. It's updated in the future.
Just that you got tenants.
Well, yeah, we got some activity and we want to get
Yeah.
over it.
Okay.
Fill a hole.
Well, just preliminary stuff.
No, we go, if the board decides, we will vote on what kind of extension we're looking for.
We're asking for a reinstatement of site plan approval,
Yeah.
with the same conditions that were a part of the original resolution. Because there are some things.
With one more, with the ZBA, right?
We've gotten the ZBA. The ZBA runs for, their variances run for a year after we receive either site plan approval or subdivision approval. So.
And there were no conditions
No.
with the ZBA?
Well, the only conditions with the ZBA is that it's site plan approval. Because then that locks us back in, because all the approval, all the conditions were, and I'll just, for the members that weren't there, besides the site plan, the building design went through, it's in the architectural design district. So we had Weldon Apt, who was the consulting architect for the ADD, reviewed it and approved it. This board, as the administrator of the ADD, reviewed it and approved it. We had, there's conditions of the approval, we did like borings and soils for geotechnical purposes on the site because of building adjacent to two other buildings. There are some requirements that we have to follow in terms of construction and sequencing. There was a construction sequence plan that was reviewed.
Use the back, right? Use the back.
Right, but you guys reviewed it and approved it with the chief of police.
Street, right? Follow the street, right?
So that was all, we're still subject to all of that, none of that changes. So that's all those conditions were in the original approval. We're still, if you grant site plan approval again, we're still subject to those conditions, specific conditions and general conditions.
What was the construction sequence plan? I remember with the parking and you were gonna have your machinery in front and...
Right.
Do you remember all of
Yes,
that?
I do.
Because it was
Being
gonna
very
disrupt
careful of the two buildings on each side, putting the footings in and so forth.
Yeah, that's all technical and that's building permit related and I'm gonna leave it there for that stuff.
Right.
There was a sequence of where we had phase 1 and phase 2 where we were gonna take a portion, we were gonna actually section off, we were gonna take 2 off-street parking spaces. For
On the
phase 1.
street, that's right.
On the street for phase 1. Once we get the steel up and the floor's poured, that can come out. We'd still keep a portion of the sidewalk open with, you know, things that go on.
Sidewalks,
yeah.
Like the big city, you know, you go underneath. And,
How does it go again?
under you like this, so you know, like a big it's called the sidewalk. And then once we get through that, that gets removed, and then we're still gonna take a portion of the sidewalk, of, you know, at least half of it will remain open for pedestrian traffic.
For the sidewalk bridge,
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Little traffic light. Okay, any other comments, board members?
So how long are you looking for, Steve?
Well, it's for
Let's hear from our professionals. Arthur, any
Yeah.
comments?
No, I don't have any comments.
Michael?
No, the applicant needs to declare an anticipated completion.
Okay, now,
So how long are you looking for, Steve?
For completion date, we would like to have 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
You say
That's
the
only- I have to ask you a question. The
Yeah.
zoning board of appeals gave you a 1 year.
That's correct.
Now, how does that fall?
They have to go get it extended.
We have to get
You have to go back to them for extension.
Who's the property owner?
Mr. and Mrs. Mastrantone, Baccaron, who just got done doing the building on New Street, and you're probably going to see us in the near future on another project of theirs. So they're good neighbors.
Is there an anticipated start date?
Has to be within a year.
It has to be within a year.
Okay.
So we started, maybe Michael could help me out with this. The ZBA gave him 1 year. Is that the start or to complete?
No, the ZBA variance is good for 1 year after you grant site plan approval.
Okay.
Your code
What's
says,
that?
within 1 year after site plan approval, they must start construction, and they must declare a date by which they will complete construction.
Tonight.
So the variance is only good for 1 year for the start of construction?
Yes, once the building permit's issued, that falls away.
Yeah, that goes away.
So you're anticipating starting within a 1 year period?
Correct.
And completing within a 2.5 year period?
Right, I mean, if we start, I mean, I'm not sure, I don't recall exactly how long we anticipated construction being without looking at the report, but you know, it would probably take about a year to build them.
Any other comments? Do we have a motion for reapproval of site plan of the Hickok Design Group, 107 West Main Street, with a starting date within a year and a completion date 2.5 years?
June 15th, 2014, is that right? Yeah.
Flag Day.
2015.
Huh?
2015.
Brother's birthday.
You're married, sir.
June 15th?
I don't think you take the
I
pressure.
just made up. Joe, well, tonight's the 18th, so June 18th, 2015.
Is the motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda, land engineering.
Yeah, I like those.
Peter, your name for the record?
Peter Mandols, Land Associates, representing Greek Mountain Dairy.
Okay, Peter.
We have resubmitted drawings to Mr. Tully's comments. We have received additional comments on Monday, and I'm here to present 2 revised drawings regarding the latest comments from Mr. Tully. May I submit those to you?
You can submit them to us or Mr.
So,
Tully.
newer than this?
Yes. Oh, yes.
I think
Just
these
2 drawings, correct.
the drawing, the comments from Mr. Tully.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
I don't know, you could present
And these are extra copies, I think, given.
You can give them to, Mr. Hickok. He'll share.
Okay.
Yeah, I think these are just,
Okay.
different pages that are modified.
Arthur?
Yeah, you have a letter from me. When we reviewed the plans, we contacted Peter's office and gave them these comments. It was my understanding that you didn't have any problems with dealing with
Correct.
these. So I'm anticipating that these plans that we got tonight will probably be fine, but I have to have a chance to review them. So, subject to anything else, if it's your intention to move this thing forward, you could give a conditional approval, conditioned upon me checking the plans and making sure that everything's addressed.
What the conditions were the last time? What was,
Well, yeah, that was one of the comments.
Parking,
Number
right?
three, yeah.
That's reflected on the latest drawing.
right?
Right, right.
What's the difference between the two?
We're showing the additional parking, that future parking if needed.
The bank parking.
The bank parking on this latest plan with the shaded area.
Taking the grass out, or?
Correct.
Okay.
That's the bank parking that we were discussing. It meets the parking requirements.
What does this one show? Doesn't show it. The old one. Oh, the second plan?
Yeah.
Oh,
There was a note on soil stabilization was changed from 30 days to 14 days.
That's a DEC requirement that was modified.
That was it. That was the only change on the second soil conservation plan.
Was there something in the back, some kind of drainage in the back?
That was taken care of previously. That was resolved.
The comments that were of last month were addressed by the applicant to Langton Tully,
Right.
and they had 5 comments from that. Is that correct?
You're right, and of the 5, the one that was discussed at last month's meeting was the issue of parking and having bank parking. We just asked them to show that on the site plan, which they've done.
Board members, any comments?
Did you do anything different with the landscaping?
We relocated the pine trees along, and that was done at the previous submission.
I don't know if you have that.
Okay. But it's the previous submission, but after the November meeting, when we have
Correct.
discussion
And then,
Correct.
about it.
which
Okay.
was reviewed by us,
Okay.
and then the landscape architect.
We didn't eliminate any pine trees, we just spread them out further from the existing pine trees as requested. That'll be the last drawing in that set that you have in your hands.
The big set.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 5 comments here,
They're fine.
they're fine. You want to see where they are?
Yeah. Okay. So, 16 Norway spruce and 16 Colorado. Did you see Chobani is building a big plant?
Nope, whole different market.
Are there any comments from the board members?
So you have to,
I just want to check, and this is the first time we're getting,
Yeah.
I have pretty much every confidence that everything is the way we think it should be, but I haven't had a chance to look at it, so that's the only caveat.
Michael, do you have any comments?
No, I have a resolution to do.
Well, board members, we could give a approval based on subject to our engineer to verify the 5 comments that you indicate there, what? Minor?
Right.
I would move that.
Okay,
I do move that.
that's very good. I believe you can move that too.
Second.
Well, let's hear what our motion is first.
The approval of the site plan, the first condition is a sign-off letter from Art on the last remaining item. This needs a floodplain development permit, so we'll have our standard condition in regard to that. You remember there were an area of shadowed parking that they weren't going to build at this time, so our standard condition regarding that. The project must be started within 1 year as required by code, The applicant has declared an anticipated completion date of November 20th, 2014. That's what it was the last time we were here.
We wanted 2-year site plan approval is what we said.
Okay, so 2 years then from tonight, it would be 12, 18, 15. Right? Oh, I'm thinking it's 13, not 14. Thank God we got an engineer here.
It was 14,
You took
right?
his shoes off for that one.
Standard condition on the ADD permit, and the applicant will be required to file a performance standards affidavit pursuant to sections 5.2 and 9.1 of the code.
We have a motion, board members? Motion
I moved that. yeah.
by Elaine, second by...
Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Welcome, Peter. Okay, board members, we have, dates for our meetings next year, 2013. Have any comments on that?
You have to be here for a couple of... Oh, you're not gonna be here for
I
a...
know, but I have my calendar.
Next
down.
two, what you said I could be here for? The next two meetings, you said you were... Okay.
So, Mr. Ford,
Mr. White?
very impressed with this guy.
Are you? What about the first?
It won't be the last week.
You look tired.
I'm tired,
You look tired. They call it blood money, son.
This is what...
Blood money. November. Our date is November 26th. That's on a Tuesday, is that correct?
I hope so, it's Tuesday before,
Thanksgiving is on the 28th.
so it's not.
See, Mr. Donnelly covered my anniversary and my birthday. Very good. You're a day off from my wife's birthday.
I got my anniversary too.
You got yours?
So,
Are there any comments on the dates?
what were we saying about?
November 26th.
November 26th.
Okay, so
28th is-
Thanksgiving is the 28th.
Yeah, 26th is okay with the board?
And the first day on
I'm not sure about the 26th, to be honest. It may be in Georgia.
You may be missed. Maybe you will be missed.
One of my
Last
cities-
month you were in Jersey.
Yeah, I know. November's just not a good month for me, apparently. But the rest was fine.
I will not be here for the January and February meeting.
You won't be here for the January, February meeting.
Right, I should be back for the March meeting.
Want to move November to the 19th?
I feel better about moving
Okay.
that.
November 19th?
Yes.
I know we're all home tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to be...
So,
Where are you going to be? Yeah.
what was our discussion about the March meeting, because it's the Passover, and it's also,
I don't know. I remember November, but you were going to think
Easter.
about it.
Yes, you did last night.
I don't think it's a good idea to have it first night of Passover.
Yeah, I don't
That's in
know.
March?
My calendar doesn't, is that the 26th?
Yeah, March 26th is the first night of Passover.
So you want to make it the week before the 19th?
We'll
Yeah.
probably be this for a March meeting.
Really?
26th, I'll make it.
Oh, we gotta look at that, board members. Okay. March is what? Hanukkah? No, that's not.
Passover.
Passover.
Yeah,
Well, that's kind of a big day.
it is a big holiday, yeah.
So we're gonna make that what?
The 19th?
Yeah.
19th?
Week before. Also a Tuesday.
Is April 23rd good, or?
I don't know, let you know in April.
The day after Earth Day.
Hey, listen, we may not, after the 22nd of December.
21st.
No, is it 21st?
Yeah, it's 21st.
Oh, God.
Okay, any other comments on the dates? We're changing March 26th to the 19th, and we're changing November 26th to November 19th. I too will not be at the January meeting.
So, Michael, let me ask you
Huh?
another question about May.
May?
Usually we make it the Tuesday before the fourth Thursday, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't that be May 21st?
Where do I,
May 28th, that would be the end of the month, as well as August 27th.
you're right, I don't know why it was done that way.
So we change the number,
It should be the 21st.
Okay.
Sharon will be happy.
I should be back by then.
The anniversary week?
The 28th will be the 21st, right?
21st, okay.
Thank you.
Are we doing the same for August or no?
Not August.
No, that's my birthday.
That's
August 27th?
The 20th is my birthday if we move. I mean, I don't care, I honestly would not mind, but.
All right, we'll bring you balloons.
Oh, yeah, Michael, the same thing with August.
Yeah, I don't know how we did this, but I would
So it'll be August 20th.
Okay.
get it off my anniversary and on Rebecca's
On to my
birthday.
birthday, no big deal.
Either way. You want to move that one to the 20th where it belongs?
Yeah, for consistency, I guess.
Do you have any comments on it?
I'm happy with whatever you decide.
Really? I was gonna say,
We don't
get
celebrate
there, right?
birthdays, anniversaries, or anything.
I didn't get there.
Except mine.
Okay, so January 22nd, February 26th, March 19th, April 23rd, May 21st, June 25th, July 23rd, August 20th, September 24th, October 22nd, November 19th, December 17th. So we change our dates? 4, right? Change it 4.
I'll publish the notice.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept it.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We do have one more comment, and the date's done. Art, we want to discuss medical missions for children.
Just quick before, Dominic falls asleep. There was tentatively scheduled for the meeting tonight, but they were told they couldn't appear because they didn't post any fees for escrow accounts. But I just want to let you know, we took a look at the plans. There was an environmental, draft environmental statement done in 2006 for the previous project, which was known as Goshen Executive Center. So they're going to have to go through the environmental process. There may not be a lot changed, but it has been 6 years since the findings were adopted. So I would recommend that we do that. And then secondly, in our initial review, the one issue to me is traffic. There's only one way in and out of that project, and that's Coach Drive. And they're going to be extending Coach Drive maybe about a quarter of a mile or so back into the site to put in this medical facility, a hotel, and some other kind of an office. So basically, there's only one way in and one way out. As part of the previous site plan approval, there was some talk about having emergency access out to South Street. So I think we should retain the services, when it does come back to us, I think we should retain the services of a traffic consultant to take a look at what they're proposing to help us review the environmental impact of the traffic and maybe do an updated traffic study. So that's the one thing that just rises to the surface for me in the application so far. So I just wanted to fill you in on that in case we see them again.
About widening the entrance, did we speak about widening the entrance?
That's built in, that has to be done.
That has to be done, right?
Yeah. But it's,
The light
The
bill.
entrance coming in,
yeah.
and how about the road itself?
My memory is they have to widen 17A beyond the entrance to the satisfaction of, I'm sure, the DOT, and to put a light in.
Right. And then I really think there should be some emergency access provided, because particularly with the nature of what's going to be happening back in there with
Yeah.
this therapy center and a hotel. There's going to be a lot of transient people that are not familiar with the area. There's potential for accidents at the intersection that And if there is an accident at the intersection, everything comes to a halt. There's no other way in or out. That's in my own,
Wasn't there a problem with the back road at the time?
yeah, there's a problem in the back because there's wetlands, there's some neighbor issues. I don't think they have a sponsor road coming out.
Isn't there a paper road there now?
There's the old Hatfield Lane, actually, it extends all the way across to South Street. But it's overgrown, it's there, it looks like a farm lane. But that's all it is. And that's
the road, the village?
No, I think this property does. Yeah, I don't think it's any longer a municipal street. I think it's private property.
There's water lines back there.
There is some water lines through there as well, yeah.
Going.
Right, coming down from the reservoir. So anyway,
Do you think there's a possibility of access for that Hatfield Lane onto 17A?
I do not think so, no. No, because the front development has used up all of that frontage,
We have separate,
like a second access.
secondary road, isn't all that property covered?
Yeah, right now it is, unless they were to get,
Secondary entrance into
Yeah.
the coast.
they used the whole width, only for what I could see on the original site.
So they went over the paper road that was there, Hatfield Lane?
Yeah, and it goes through wetland, I think that's really it. And when 17 expanded
They took property
on and off ramps and
that's right.
things, yeah, they lost
Okay,
property.
yeah, okay.
Fulham, right?
Hmm?
Was the guy on?
I think Fulham, yeah, right.
But it's still
Yeah,
going
the-
forward.
The
Well,
early,
I don't know.
the early part of Hatfield Lane is now the Route 17 on-ramp. When it
Yes.
continued, then it picks up into property and goes back to South Street.
Right.
Oh, try to get them here.
Well, when they were asked to put up some funds, for whatever reason, they didn't. So, I know the mayor has been in contact with one of the principals, but I haven't heard anything other than that.
We've had a lot of MVAs, a lot of car accidents at that intersection.
Yeah, it's a bad spot.
Because going towards Florida, people try to make a left-hand turn at the Coach Drive, and people are going around them
Mm-hmm.
on the shoulder.
And you got two lanes of people
We've had people
racing
go
to
off
see
the
who
road
can be
down to
first.
this.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, right?
That's right.
We had that 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
You haven't reviewed any plans?
The only plans they've submitted are very...
The original
conceptual
ones
plans.
from
Yeah,
2006?
it's like, no, sketch plan, they put in a sketch plan.
And that was it?
That was it, yeah.
Okay. Any other comments, board members?
Anything?
Aye.
We got this letter from the mayor on Old York. From Old York. They say Old York. It says the Old York subdivision, which is currently before the planning board.
Well, it's got a conditional approval before us,
Yeah.
and it's waiting for Jerry to sign it before they can file it.
Right, but they owe us money.
Yes, and that's why I think the mayor sent that letter, and it's not to sign the letter, not to sign the plan.
There you go.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you recall, a couple months ago, we sent the letter to the village saying what we so.
So we're not gonna sign off on it until money's been good.
Right.
We will sign it, levy is paid.
Okay.
I'm thinking my shirt.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
That's politically incorrect. Okay, board members, any other comments?
Minutes?
We have a motion, well, minutes, that's right.
Come on, cuz.
All right, guys.
You woke up?
Come on, I got every week.
Every week or every month?
Every month.
How do you count? Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know,
We'll let you know. I'm thinking like, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so.
Did our board members review the minutes?
I have.
You did?
Yes.
Are there any comments or any corrections? Which I doubt there would be any corrections.
Lane loves it.
Make a motion to accept the minutes?
He's not gonna give me a chance.
No, go right ahead and speak. We don't.
No, the minutes are good.
Are they? Okay.
Yep.
Just late.
Made a motion to accept the minutes?
Did you?
I did.
Okay, so I won't ask for a motion then.
I thought I heard that.
Do we have a second? For both months, board members, both months. We reviewed both months, October and November? Honestly, have we reviewed them?
I wasn't here for November, I'm gonna.
Well, I know that, that's fine.
But October,
Middle to the house every month.
Okay. Do we have a,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
I wish everyone a happy,
I make a motion.
healthy, hold on, Merry Christmas.
Make a motion.
There's a motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion.
I met with
Discussion.
the board, last night.
Any rights of way for approval, so either the neighbors or the owner can sign that. Yeah. Let me see that way out, British. Roads, get about that.
And where are you getting,
Goshen sign is.
Yeah, back in.
where are you getting the,
Upwards, probably, all the way down.
Yeah, and try some of the old.
Shut them down.
Goes down High Street.
Right, shut it down.
yeah.